Hello and welcome to your mat. So my name's Kristin and this will be a 45-minute yoga basics class. So yoga basics means we're going to go over maybe some groundwork for yoga. So this is a great place for you to start if you haven't done any yoga before. Maybe you're getting back into it, or maybe you're just looking for something a little bit more simplified. I know there's a lot of videos out there with yoga right now, so this is a great place to start. Some things you'll need today. So don't worry if you don't have much at your home. A yoga mat or maybe a towel would be great for you to lay down to do your practice on. If you have a block, so here's a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, don't worry. You can also use a stack of books, or I found to be quite useful at home is using a box. So a shoe box is actually a great size because you can use it at any different angle. A strap. So I have a yoga strap here, but actually a belt is quite similar. So you could also grab just any belt that you have. And then if you have a blanket around, especially if you have sensitive knees, it's great to have. I'm sitting on my blanket right now because it helps for a little support. But this is just a stiff yoga blanket, but you could use a fleece blanket or any sort of blanket you have that's easy to fold up and move around on your mat, not too big. So we're going to start today by laying down on your back. So if you need to collect some of these props, go ahead and pause the video, go on and see if you can find some of them, and then come back and press play when you've gotten them all. I'm just going to move the props off to the side. The blanket at the back with the strap. And then I recommend putting your block or your books or your box up near the front of your mat. That'll be where it is most useful. And we're going to lay down on our backs to begin. So you can either lay back, just roll right back, or if you have any back issues, you can roll to your side and then roll onto your back. If you have a ponytail, you can move it up or down or take it out if you need to. And then just arrange your hips in a way that's comfortable for you. You're going to take one hand and bring it to your belly, and the other to your heart. If you have a sensitive low back, keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Or you can stretch your legs out long. Take a moment here, feel your bones supported on the earth. And then gently close your eyes. I want you to begin to notice your breath. Notice it at the tip of your nose. Follow it as it trails up into your nostrils, through your nose, nasal cavities, back through the back of your throat, all the way down into your lungs. And as it moves into your lungs, it branches out front, side, back, top, and bottom. Almost like an upside down tree deep in your ribcage. With each inhale, feel an expansive motion as your ribcage builds and fills with air. And as you exhale, feel a softening as your rib cage lets the air out of your lungs. And the air reverses that path out through your lungs, through the back of your throat, through your nasal passages, down through your nose, out through your nostrils. And as the air comes back out through your nose, it might feel a little bit more warm or more moist at the tip of your nose. Then I want you to feel your breath in your hands. So you have one hand on your belly and one on your heart. And I want you to imagine that your lungs are filling up your whole body cavity. So all the way from the base of your pelvis, all the way up through maybe the top of your collarbone. So when you inhale, I want you to inhale first into the hand that's on your belly. Inhale into the hand that's on your chest. And then as you exhale, reverse that. So exhale out through the hand on your chest. Exhale out from the hand on your belly. And again, inhale into the hand on your belly. Inhale into the hand on your chest. Exhale, reverse from the hand on your chest, hand on your belly. As we move through this breath work, see if you can breathe in and out just through your nose. If you're congested or have anything going on, feel free to take any breaths through your mouth, but see if you can keep it a nostril breath if that works with your body today. We'll take a few more of those, inhaling into the hand on your belly. Hand on your chest. Exhale, reverse from the hand on your chest, hand on your belly. Just take a few more rounds here on your own. And with each inhale, allow your awareness, allow yourself to arrive in the here and the now. And with each exhale, let go of anything that's not serving you from the past, to-do lists for the future, any of the worries or concerns or stresses in your life, in your day. Just arrive with each inhale more fully to the here and the now. In your body, on your mat, simply feeling and cultivating your breath. Take one more breath here like this, and I invite you to take an exhale out through your mouth this time, kind of like a sigh. So take an inhale into the hand on your belly, inhale into the hand on your chest, and then a big sigh out. If your legs are long, please just bend your knees and bring your feet flat onto the mat. You can start to open your eyes. You can keep your eyes closed and take your arms so they're long on your sides, palms face down. Walk your heels in so they're close to your bottom, maybe so your heels are almost brushing your fingertips. And as you inhale, press into your heels, move your shins forward, lift your hips up off the ground. Exhale, lower your hips down. Do it again, little dynamic bridge. So inhale, press into your heels, move your shins forward, lift your hips up to the sky. Exhale as your hips lower. And then see if you can link this movement with your breath. So as you inhale, you begin to lift, press into your heels, lift your hips up at the top. At the end of your inhale, you're at the highest expression, hips up. And then exhale, begin to lower. At the end of your exhale, your hips touch the ground. Do that again. Inhale, hips lift up. Exhale, lower. If you want to add a little bit onto this, you can add some arms. So inhale as your hips lift up, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. At the top of the inhale, the backs of your hands are on the floor above your head. Exhale, lower your hips, lower your arms at the same time. See if your hips and your hands can lower at the same time. It takes a little bit of coordination. Try that again. Inhale. Hips and hands. Exhale, lower. At the end of the exhale, hips and hands on the ground. Last one. And lower. Nice. Pull your knees into your chest. Bring your hands to the tops of your shins, rock side to side. Maybe make some circles, one way and the other. So we're going to come up to all fours. You can either rock and roll along the length of your spine to get a little bit of momentum. This isn't all compromising your spine, just roll to your side. And come up to all fours. And as you make your way up, if you have a thin mat or on a towel or just have sensitive knees, feel free to grab your blanket. Unfold it a few times so it's not too thick, and you can place it under your knees. So as we get here, make any wardrobe or hair changes you need from laying on your back. Sometimes things can get a little bit disheveled. All right, we're going to bring your hands right underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And see if you can line up the creases of your wrists with the very top of your mat. So linking our breath again to our movement. Inhale, let your belly move down. Move your heart forward between your hands. Gaze up. Cow pose. And then exhale, press into your hands and your shins to lift your navel towards your spine. Curl in your spine towards the ceiling, chin to chest, gaze back towards your thighs. Inhale, heart sweeps forward, gazing up. Exhale, curling under. breathe just in and out through your nose here. Inhale, lift your tail, lift your heart forward. As you gaze up, rest your teeth together. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Allow your gaze to be soft. Exhale, curl under, chin to chest, navel to spine. Let's do that again. Inhale, heart drops, tail curls up, heart curls up. Exhale, curl under. And then inhale, come back to a neutral spine. So a nice long spine. I'm going to take off my vest so you can see my spine a little bit better here. So nice long spine, head and tail in a line. We're going to come to some balancing. So take your right leg and dig it out into the mat behind you, toes down, and just rock forward and back a few times. You might feel a little bit of a calf stretch here. And then shift back so your shoulders are right over your wrists. And start to lift your right heel up towards the sky. Try to keep your shoulders and your hips lined up with your mat. Flex your toes, so curl your toes back towards your shin and press out through your heel like you're trying to stand on a wall back behind you. So you can stay here, or if you'd like a little bit more, reach your fingertips forward and then maybe lift your arm up by your ear. Added challenge, bend your knee. See if you can reach back with your left hand and maybe touch your toes or grab onto your foot. Take 2 more breaths here, in and out through your nose. Exhale, slowly release. See if you can bring your hand and your knee down to the mat at the exact same time. And then bring your toes together, walk your knees wide, and come back for a child's pose, just to get our weight off our hands a little bit. So as you shift your hips back towards your heels, you can walk your hands forward and rest your forehead down on the earth. Then depending on how your shoulders and your hips feel here, if you feel like you're crunching into this pose, you can stack your fists or your hands and rest your forehead on top of them. And just take a few breaths here. See if you can come back to your belly breath. So can you breathe deep into your lungs, almost like you're breathing into your low belly or your pelvis region. Last breath here. Inhale. Full exhale. Then walk your hands back forward. So they're right underneath your shoulders. Rearrange your knees so they're right underneath your hips. And then take your left toes into the mat back behind you and rock forward and back a few times, stretching out through the bottom of your foot, back of your calf. And then stack your shoulders over your wrists, and then your hips over your knee, and start to lift your left heel up towards the sky. Keep your hips square, press back firmly through your left heel. And then flex your foot, so that's curling your toes towards your shin, like you're stepping on a wall behind you. So you can stay here, again, keeping shoulders and hips square to the ground. Maybe if you want a little more, reach your right fingertips up in front of you. They can stay on the ground like a little kickstand, or maybe reach your arm up by your ear. Tuck your chin, lengthen. Option to stay here. Keep your navel lifting up towards your spine. Maybe reach back, touch your toes. Maybe grab onto your foot. Take 2 breaths. Big inhale and exhale. Last one. Slowly release. See if you can bring your hand and your knee down at the same time. Nice. Toes together, knees nice and light again. Shift back for child's pose. So again, arms can be long out in front of you. You can make a pillow with your hands or your fists. If you're doing that, try to do the opposite hand on top this time. It might feel a little different on your shoulders. But just take a few breaths here in your child's pose. So child's pose is a great pose to come to any time during this practice. It's also a great pose just to do, maybe I like to do it at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day. It's a nice way to really kind of get centered and grounded. Take 1 more breath here in your child's pose, a nice inhale and an exhale. And then inhale, come back up to all fours. We're going to make our way into a downward dog. Walk your hands forward in front of you, one handprint. Again, spread your fingers wide. Check to make sure the creases of your wrists are about parallel with the front of your mat. And then walk your knees back maybe about an inch or two. Tuck your toes under. So now we're like in a nice extended all fours. Let your belly drop, move your heart forward. So feel your tailbone lifting up towards the sky. Lift your navel towards your spine. And then start to lift your hips by straightening your legs and pressing firmly into your hands. Coming to a downward dog. It's like an upside down V shape. Take a moment here, adjust your feet. Think about wrapping your triceps back towards your knees and really trying to push your mat away. Press into your hands, making a straight line from wrist to shoulder to hips. And I like to pedal out my feet here a few times. So walking your dog almost. So bend one knee, straighten the other, send your heel down, and then switch. Bend the other knee, send your other heel down, and just do that a few times. Little dog walk. Kind of feel like you're wagging your tail. Should feel good on the backs of your legs, on your feet. Feel the blanket in the middle of your mat. Take this moment just to shift it to the side. We're going to come down onto our bellies, and sometimes it doesn't feel good to be on the blanket. Okay. So we're working to a plank pose. Inhale, shift forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. You might need to scoot your heels back a little bit. Press back through your heels, reach forward through your heart. Let's all lower down onto our knees for this first one. So in your plank pose, feel like I have a ponytail in today so you can kind of see this. See, imagine someone's grabbing onto the back of your head, right? So for maybe my ponytail, and lifting your head up towards the sky a little bit so your head's an extension of your spine. Sometimes we find ourselves here in our plank pose or here, right? So you can keep it nice and long. Lift your navel to your spine. We'll hold here for 2 more breaths. In. Press into your hands. Imagine you're pulling your mat apart widthwise. Exhale. And then bend your elbows back towards your hips and lower all the way down. See if you can land in one piece, heart and nose at the same time. Untuck your toes. Move your fingertips so they're right underneath your shoulders. Lengthen your right leg back. Lift and lengthen your left leg back. Exhale out your air. Inhale, lift up for a little cobra. So curl your heart up off the ground. Feel your shoulder blades moving down your back. Can you press so much into your feet that your knees lift? Exhale, lower. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift up, little cobra. Exhale, lower. Nice, tuck your toes. Press back to downward facing dog. And see if you can keep your feet about the same distance as they were in your plank pose. So you can do a little check here. Shift forward to plank again. Notice where your feet are and where your hands are in this plank pose, right? And then shift your hips up and back, down dog. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Exhale, press back, down dog. This time, inhale forward to plank pose and hold. So this time as we lower, you can lower here in a full plank, straight, knees lifted off the ground, squeezing your leg muscles into your bones. Or you can drop back down onto your knees and lower. But see if you can lower in 3 counts. Shift forward slightly, lower down in 3, 2, 1. Nice. Untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet onto the mat. Inhale, lift up, little cobra. This time put a little bit of weight into your hands as you move your heart forward. Press down to the tops of your feet. Exhale, lower. Engage your legs. One more like that. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Press back, child's pose. Take a breath here in your child's pose. And inhale. And exhale. Then inhale, come up to all fours. Tuck your toes, press back, downward facing dog. Put a big bend in your knees. Gaze between your hands and walk your feet forward towards the top of your mat. Keep your feet kind of wide here. Bend your knees so much that maybe your belly or your chest is resting on your thighs. Relax the back of your neck and grab
grab for opposite elbows, coming forward into a rag doll. You can let your shoulders really shrug up to your ears here and just do a little sway side to side. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Keeping your breath smooth and fluid as we move through more of these standing postures. See if you can just keep your breath moving in and out through your nose the whole time. Nice and smooth and even. Not hurried, not rushed, not forgotten. Gently release your hands from your elbows. Then inhale, lift up halfway. Keep your knees bent here, but see if you can make a nice straight flat back. Pull your shoulders back. Lengthen from tail to crown of head. Exhale, lower. And bring your hands to your hips again. You can keep your knees bent here. Squeeze your elbows back behind you. Come up with a flat back. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lower. Release your arms. Tuck your chin. Again, making any necessary wardrobe adjustments. You can stay facing the front of your mat. I'm going to turn to face you here so you can see me better. Come to a mountain pose. So we'll set up from the ground up. Bring your feet right underneath your hips. Feel the ball mounds of your big toes, ball mound of your pinky toe, and then back edge of your heel. Press into those 3 points on each of your feet and feel your arches lift a little bit. Squeeze your outer shins in towards the center. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another and slightly back. Lift from the pit of your belly. And then move your rib cage maybe just forward a little bit so your pelvis and your rib cage are stacked one on top of another. Lift your shoulders up, shrug them down your back. We'll do this Tadasana with a little bit of an opening. So move your palms so they're facing forward so you feel a lightness and opening through your heart center. Drop your chin slightly and lengthen up from the back of your ears to get just a little bit taller. And then just move forward, back, side to side a few times. See if you can stack your joints, ankles, knees, hips, spine, shoulders, crown of head. Take an inhale in through your nose. Side out through our mouth. Mountain pose. Feeling this nice alignment. Inhale, reach your arms up. Press your palms together. Exhale, reach over to your right. Stretch through your left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach over to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, big open arm twist. Right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, arms down. Do that again. Inhale, reach up. Press your palms together. Exhale, reach over to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach over to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Let your hips kind of swivel here. And let this move all the way from your feet, all the way through your head. Maybe even gazing back towards your right thumb. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Sometimes in twists we keep our hips square, but in this twist I want you to let the whole body move. Inhale, center. And then exhale, bring your hands down. I'm going to have you bring them to your back. I'm going to turn to face the front again. Bring your hands to your back like you're putting them in your imaginary jean pocket. Squeeze your shoulders together, and then see if you can carve your heart up towards that place where the wall and the ceiling meet. Maybe you get the bridge of your nose parallel to the sky. Little back bend. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do a little sun salutation C. So make sure you have a block, a box, or some books up near the top of your mat. Come back to your mountain pose. Feet stacked under your knees, under your hips. Shoulders rolling back. Rib cage stacked over your hips. Move your ears up and back. Here we go. Sun salutation C. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Knees could be bent as you move here. And then inhale, press your hands to your shins and find a flat back. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step your left foot back. And lower your left knee down to the earth. If you'd like, again, you can bring your blanket for a little bit of extra support under your knee. Bring your right hands to the top of your right thigh. Make sure your right knee is stacked over your right ankle. And then inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Take an inhale here. Maybe send your gaze again right to that spot where the wall and the ceiling meet. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to your plank pose. Options here again. Remember, you're pulling the mat apart widthwise with your hands, lifting your navel, engaging all the muscles of your legs and your arms, knees up or knees down. Lower all the way to your mat. Inhale, lift up for a cobra. Maybe put a little weight in your hands this time, sliding your heart forward between your arm bones. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, press back to all fours, and then press back to down dog. Take a breath here, inhale. Exhale. Lower down onto your knees, step your left thigh. Stay here, or sweep both your arms high to the sky. Maybe sending your gaze up to where the wall and the ceiling meet, and inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down to the floor, or if you'd like, they can come onto a block here. Tuck your back toes, step forward to forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins or to your thighs, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach your arms out to the side, lead with the back of your heart, come all the way up. Fingers touch up above your head, gaze towards your thumbs. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands can come to block or to the earth. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, find a halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Step your right foot back this time. Option here, you can lower down into your knee like we did the first time, or keep your knee lifted and come all the way up to a high lunge. Really press into your left heel. Find your balance. Again, check out your left knee. See if your left knee is stacked over your left ankle. Shoulders drop down your back. Lift your heart. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor. If your knees dropped, lift your knees. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. We're going to lower all the way to our bellies again. Knees up or knees down. Lower all the way down to the earth. If you have a block there, you might need to move it. Inhale, lift up cobra. Again, press the tops of your feet down. Lift your knees. Lift your heart. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Press back to all fours. And then press back to down dog. Take a breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Drop down onto your knees. Step your right foot forward. Again, you can keep your back knee down or lift your knee up. Inhale, sweep your arms up above your head. Get in a high lunge. You still want your knees stacked right over your ankle. See if you can square your hips off to the front. Lift your heart. Bring your hands to the earth. If your back knee is down, lift your knee. Step forward. Maybe bringing your hands to the block here. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Fingertips touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Arms by side. Nice. You can stay facing the top of your mat. I'm going to come to the side of my mat so you can see me a little better here, but we're going to come to chair pose. So again, bringing your feet underneath your knees, underneath your hips. Bend your knees, sink your hips back, chair pose. So good rule of thumb here is to check the midline of your thigh with your shins and see if it's tracking over second or third toe. So feet, depending on you, they might be wide, they might be narrower. Everyone's hips are different. So find that sweet spot for you. Move your weight back towards your heels. Move your arms forward and maybe up towards the sky. So in your chair pose, I'm going to turn to the side here so you can see me. Make sure we're not in a super flexion, right? You don't want to have this arch back. See if you can find a neutral spine. So pull your navel to your spine. Imagine there's a chair behind you and you really want to sit in it. The sun keeps pulling it away from you, right? So move your hips back, like, oh, I really want to sit down. But you don't want to, but the chair's not quite there. Take 2 more breaths. This is a lot on your shoulders. Feel free to bring your hands to your heart or your hands to your hips. 1 more. Sink back a little down further. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, arms by side. Whew. Right. Now everyone turn to the side of your mat. If you're on your phone or your computer, feel free to move it somewhere where you can still see it. And walk your feet nice and wide. Open your arms. And see if your feet can be about underneath your wrists. It's pretty wide. Turn your right toes to face the short end of your mat. And then bend your right knee. Now look down at your feet. See if you can draw a straight line from your right heel to the middle of your back arch, and then turn your back toes in a little bit. Press firmly into your back heel. Sink your front knee a little bit more so it's stacked right over your ankle. Bring your arms out to the side, flip your palms over, let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Gaze out over your right fingertips, and then maybe just flip your palms over, keeping your shoulders soft. Warrior two pose. Breathe in and out through your nose. Flip your front palm over, keeping your legs right where they are. Just reach up and back. Stretch through your right side body. Up towards the back through little or no weight in your back hand. It's just there, lightly resting on your back knee. Then exhale. Reach forward towards your front knee and bring your right forearm to your right knee. Grab onto your left hip. Move your left hip back in space a little bit, just so you have a straight line from your heel to your hip. Bring your left hand to your shoulder, roll your shoulder back, and see if you can lift your heart up towards the sky. You can keep your hand on your shoulder. You can bring your hand to the back of your head to open a little bit more through your upper back. Or if you'd like some more, maybe stretch your fingertips over your head. Imagine a nice long line from fingertips through arm bones, through side ribs, through hip, all the way through the outer edge of your left leg. Take another inhale here. Another exhale. And then inhale, come all the way up. Straighten your front leg. We'll do the other side. So turn your right toes in, turn your left toe out. Line up heel to arch. Nice wide stance. Bend your left knee. So again, knees stacked right over ankle. Press firmly back into your right heel to really activate your leg. Flip your palms over. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Flip the palms back and lengthen through your heart. Gaze out over your left fingertips. Take 2 breaths here, in and out through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Flip your front palm over. Reach up and back, reverse warrior. Stretch through your side body, through hip, rib cage. Keep sinking nice and deep into your left leg, little or no weight, in your right. The next exhale, come forward for extended side angle. Bring your forearm to your thigh. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Move your hip back in space, just a little bit. Lengthen from right heel to right hip. Then bring your right hand to your shoulder. Shrug your shoulder back. See if you can lift your chest to the sky. And see if you can keep this side of your left shoulder soft, right? So you don't want to wear your shoulder like an earring, but keep it up and away. Maybe you keep your hand on your shoulder. Maybe you bring your hand to the back of your head, opening up a little bit more through your upper back. Maybe you stretch your fingertips forward. Imagine that nice straight line all the way from your right heel to your right fingertips. Take another breath here. Inhale, come up. Straighten your front leg. Turn your toes in and walk your feet together. Let's sit back to chair pose again. Inhale, sit back, chair pose. So you make sure knees are tracking over second and third toe. If you want to add a challenge here, maybe lift your heels off the ground, right? So you shift weight into your toes, lift your heels off the ground. Take another breath. Lower down on your heels, straighten your legs. Inhale. Exhale, arms by your side. So go ahead and grab your block, your stack of books, or your box. I'm going to grab the box for this one. And open your legs wide again. Nice and wide on your mat. Maybe not quite as wide as before, just a little bit more narrow. And turn your right toes to face the outside of your mat, the short edge of your mat. Take your block to the outside of your right leg. You can. I love the box. You can have it short, medium, or tall. I'm going to show it tall. And then if you want, you can always make it smaller. It's easier to go from tall to small than from small to tall. So again, lining up your heels. Heel lined up with middle of your arch. Open your arms nice and wide. Bend your knees a little bit and then straighten them. Nice, pulling your muscles into your bones. Coming to triangle pose. Inhale, reach forward over your right leg. And then exhale, bring your hand to your box. And start to lift your left arm up towards the sky. And see if you can move your right rib cage forward.
Press firmly into both legs. If you're feeling really tight through your front leg, maybe your hamstrings tight, your quad or your hip, feel free to take your hand to your shin or even to your thigh. But see if you can spin your heart open, press firmly into both your legs, and then lengthen your spine a little more. Take 2 more breaths here. Imagine there's a rope up above you. Grab onto your imaginary rope. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Other side. Take your blocks, your stack of books, whatever you're using. Bring it to the outside of your left foot. Point your left toes out. Point your right toes in. Reach your arms wide to the side. Bend your knees. Straighten your knees and pull the muscles into the bone. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, triangle pose. Into block, box, shin or thigh. And then lift and lengthen your spine forward. Think about moving your left rib cage forward here. Again, make it work for you. You might need to move the box up or down. You might need to bring your hand to your thigh. And it might be different on this side, right? Approach each side individually, like it's brand new. Because it is. It has a totally different story than the first side. And make it work for you. Take another inhale. Another exhale. Imagine there's a rope up above you. Grab onto the rope. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Point your toes forward. Walk your feet back to the center of your mat. Come to mountain pose again. Find the 3 corners of your feet. Palm out a big toe. Palm out a pinky toe. One edge of the back of the heel. Outer shin squeeze in. Inner thigh toe back. Lift from the base of your pelvis. Move your ribcage forward. Turn your palms out. Rest your chin down. Move the back of your ears up. Coming to tree pose. So feeling this balance right in the center of your foot. The center of your mountain pose. Shift your weight into your right foot. Bring your left foot to inner ankle. Inner calf or up towards your inner thigh. If you're feeling really unsteady here, feel free to move over to a wall and put your hand on the wall. But see, make sure your foot's not on your knee, so choose above or below. And press your leg into your foot into your leg. Maybe hands to heart. Maybe arms to sky. Breathe in and out. And feel those 3 quarters of your right foot. Palm out a big toe, palm out a pinky toe, one edge of the back of the heel. And instead of fighting that little wiggle, embrace the little wiggle, right? Your ankle is actually designed to slide. So feel that sliding motion. Instead of fighting it, just allow it to slide, and it's going to bring you back to balance. That's what your ankle wants to do. It always wants to keep you in balance. So trust it. And bring your hands back to your heart. Pull your left knee up and lower it down. Nice, shake it out. Other side. So again, bringing your feet under your hips. Shifting weight onto your left foot. Bring your right foot to inner ankle, inner calf, or towards your inner thigh. Press your foot into your leg into your foot. Bring your hands to your heart. Again, if you want some balance, feel free to move to a wall. You can always just kickstand your toes too and do that little practice, lifting it up and down. Maybe reaching your arms to the sky. Breathe in and out through your nose here. And again, just embrace that little wiggle on your left foot. Your awareness to your breath, that constant reminder of the here, of the now. One more breath here. Bring your hands to your heart. Pull your knee up towards your chest. And lower down. Nice, shake that. Make your way back up to the top of your mat. If you've moved your computer or your phone, feel free to move it back up to the top. Move your props off to the side. Standing tall one last time, find your mountain pose. On an inhale, sweep your arms high to the sky. Exhale, fold forward towards the earth. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, just step right back to your down dog. And take a moment here to check in. So you can keep your knees a little bent in your down dog if you need to. Straighten your arms, lift your hips up. Notice how this dog maybe feels a little bit different than your first one. Maybe it's just a frame of mind. Maybe your muscles, your bones feel a little bit different from our movement.
Inhale, come forward to plank pose. I'd like you to lower all the way down onto your belly one last time so you can keep your knees up, or you can drop your knees down. Bend your elbows back and lower all the way down to the earth. So we're going to do some belly down back bends here. So make sure you're right on your mat. If you have really sensitive hips, feel free to bring your blanket again onto the ground under your belly, and maybe it's one of the thinner settings. And then reach your arms back towards your toes. Lift your right leg up, lengthen it back behind you, and lower it down. Lift your left leg up, lengthen it back, and lower it down. Exhale out your air. Inhale, lift up the backs of your arms and your heart. And then lengthen your toes back, lift up your legs. See if you can lift up from the roots of your thighs. Lift up a little bit higher, 2 more breaths. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower down, come to your right cheek. Close your eyes, rock your hips side to side. One more here on our back. So bring your lips back down to the mat. You can either reach back and hold hands with yourself, or grab onto opposite elbows. Exhale out your air. Inhale, lift up your heart. Reach your elbows, or reach your knuckles back towards your heels, and then lift your thighs up towards the sky. Take 3 breaths here. Allow your neck to be an extension of your spine, so don't crane your neck up. Don't let it fall down, but see if you can feel the energy reaching maybe the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower down. Just let your hips rock side to side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back for child's pose. Take a breath. For this child's pose, a little variation if you'd like. You can bring your shins together, knees together, and maybe reaching your fingertips back towards your toes. I like to call this like a little seed pod pose. Full of potential. Then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Come up so you're sitting on your heels. Shift your hips to the side. Scoot forward on your mat. Make sure you have a strap or your belt nearby. Reach your arms long out in front of you and slowly lower all the way down. See if you can drop one little vertebrae at a time. This is a lot on your low back. Feel free to roll to your side like we did at the beginning of class, and then make your way onto your back. Again, if ponytail or any hair accessories in the way, feel free to remove it. Walk your heels back so they're nice and close to your sit bones, fingers long. We're just doing 2 bridge poses here. Just like we did at the beginning of class, but with a little bit of a hold. So press into your heels, exhale out your air. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky. This time, see if you can reach behind yourself and hold hands. So see if you can roll to opposite shoulders, tuck your shoulders underneath you, press the backs of your arms down. And if you held your hands at the beat in that pose on our belly in locust pose, see if you can take the opposite grip. So if your right thumb was on top, this time take your left. Take 3 more breaths here. Move your hips up, move your shins forward. Last one. Exhale, lower down, untuck your hands. And just rock your knees side to side. Do 1 more here on our back. Walk your heels close to your bum, arms long by your side. Exhale out your air. Inhale, lift your hips up. This time, bend your elbows. Walk your elbows a little bit closer so you tuck your shoulders underneath. Shift weight onto your right foot and see if you can lift your left leg up towards the sky. Little challenge. Press through your left foot. Exhale, lower. Other side. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. Press through your right foot like you'll stand on the ceiling. Exhale, lower, and then slowly lower your hips down. Let your knees rock side to side. And then pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock. Then allow both of keep your right knee into your chest, grab onto your strap or your belt, and take your belt over your foot. Send your foot up towards the sky. Your right foot, let's start with the right foot up towards the sky. Lengthen your left leg long out in front of you. Roll out your ankle a few times one way and the other way. Grabbing onto both sides of the strap, just let your leg open to the side a little bit. Feel a stretch through your inner thigh, inner groin. Keep pressing through your left leg like you're standing on the imaginary ground at the bottom of your mat. Inhale, bring your leg back up. Take the strap off your foot, bend your knee into your chest, and let's twist. So take your right leg over to the left. Then extend your right arm long and maybe gaze towards your right hand. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, come back through center. Pull your knee into your chest. We'll switch sides. So take the strap over your left foot, send your left foot straight up to the sky, straighten your right leg long. Curl your toes back towards your shin. Roll out your ankle a few times one way and the other way. Grabbing onto both sides of the strap in your left hand, keep your right leg super active, so press down in front of you towards the imaginary floor and open your leg to the side. Just enough to feel a stretch through your inner groin. Press out through your inner heel, toes curl back towards your shin. Then inhale, bring your leg back through center. Release the strap. Pull your knee into your chest and take a nice twist across your body. So maybe reach your left arm long and gaze towards your left fingers, but take a few breaths here. Allow your body to begin to soften, to relax into the earth. And pull your knee into your chest. Coming back through center, and please pull both of your legs into your chest. Grab onto the backs of your thighs. Coming to a little happy baby, you can keep your knees bent here. Trying to keep your pelvis onto the floor, maybe rocking side to side. Or grab onto the bottoms of your feet, pulling your knees into your armpits. Again, any movement here. Happy baby pose. Or sometimes translated as blissful baby pose. So find some bliss here. If this isn't blissful to you, pick a different pose. Now one last time, give yourself a hug on your back. So wrap your forearms over your shins. Pull your nose into your knees. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, release down. Coming to Shavasana. Final rest. Arms long, legs long. Move anything away that's bothersome to you. We'll come to Shavasana for a few minutes. Palms face up on the ground, arms nice and wide. If it's a lot on your low back to have your legs long, feel free to bend your knees and knock your knees together. Or put your rolled blanket or a bolster underneath your knees. Allow your eyes to close. Give yourself permission to just rest. Become an observer of your breath. Allow your awareness to just drift. A little poem by William Stafford that I'd like to read now. Please just stay here on your back. Relaxing your muscles, your bones into the earth. You reading this, be ready. Starting here, what do you want to remember? How sunlight creeps along a shining floor. What scent of old wood hovers. What softened sound from outside fills the air. Will you ever bring a better gift for the world than the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go right now? Are you waiting for time to show you some better thoughts? When you turn around, starting here, lift this new glimpse that you found. Carry into evening all that you want from this day. This interval you spent reading or hearing this, keep it for life. What can anyone give you greater than now, starting here, right in this room, when you turn around? Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bringing your awareness back into your body and into this moment. Allow for gentle movements of your fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. On an inhale, reach your arms up over your head, lengthen your legs down in front of you. Then exhale, slowly roll to your right or left side and take a moment to pause. Use one arm as a pillow and the other to hug yourself. Thank yourself for coming here today. For showing up in the here and the now, doing something good for your body, your mind, and your spirit. With your eyes still closed, press your way up to a gentle seated position. Hands resting on your knees. Carry with you this sense of peace, of calm, as you move into the rest of this day. Turning to it when life throws you challenges, as it will, and just remembering to take a breath. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow your chin down towards your chest, centering all that resides within us. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.